Red squad, you ready?
Well, I know now it's the first time that was fun now. From life I resign when I feel I've got problems that wrong. I'm awaiting life as another man. Don't crowd me. There's roots in the shadows. They're thrown the way that I'd expect. And people never seem to know what they least suspect is coming next. Well, it seems like time's elapsed, and I've stabbed life in the back. I'm searching for what it means to never be anything, anything.
Ja. Hast du das Land genervt?
Hallo Leute.
Ja.
Was?
Alles fit heute bei dir?
Gut.
Das sind die Teile von meinen Videos, die keiner versteht, wenn es Amerikaner schauen.
Manche amerikanischen Nerven.
Ja,
Das verstehen nur uns Deutschen.
genau. Ich mag die
Aber
eigentlich nicht.
Ich liebe Amerika. Es ist nur halt. Manche Sachen sind besser in Deutschland, manche Sachen sind besser in Amerika.
Zum Beispiel Döner. Ist in Deutschland einfach besser.
Döner ist das Beste.
I think I'm one of them.
I don't know, but I don't want to watch it.
Black Hunt's you showing.
I've been trying to see Nuremberg for 2 weeks, and everybody's being a bitch about it.
Go find someone.
Oh, it stopped working.
I bought a 50 lens for it. It's kind of nice.
I want to get one of the Nikon Z's. Not necessarily the Z6, but like one of the Nikon Z's.
Ooh, it's picking up, isn't it?
A little bit. Good morning. It's Saturday morning on Fort George, Zimmy, Maryland. It has been snowing. Let me show you. It's not really a lot. Nothing crazy. But it's definitely the first time I've seen snow here in Maryland. And yesterday we had a late start to the school day. Instead of starting at 9, everything started at 10, and we didn't have to get up in the morning, go to PT or anything like that. So things are calming down a little, quieting down a little. And for me too, a little bit, because school is not very stressful right now. And I don't really have to do that much, so I got a little more time to think and reflect, which helps a lot. Yeah, my relationship stuff has kind of been put on hold for now. It is really difficult to make things work here, or maybe it's just me finding that difficult, but we're in such a strange environment with all the rules and curfews and not being able to really share a private space together, that it's very different from what I have experienced since I moved out of my parents' place, and that was 10 years ago. So I'm really used to doing whatever I want, honestly, and that just leaves more room to develop things. And here it's there's always Big Navy or whoever watching us. I'm not gonna say that's the fault, but it definitely makes things different. Yeah, so things are kind of unclear right now concerning that. I only have 1.5 months left here, 2 weeks of which I'll be going to New York on my little vacation. We had briefly planned to go together, but then call it off again. I wonder if I'm going to see anyone that I know from here in New York. But yeah, so the time is slowly coming to an end, and I'm kind of waking up from it, because you do disappear in the routine that you have to go through. All the things you have to do, waiting around for basically nothing to happen. And I feel like my inner self is slowly like coming back to the surface. And yeah, that's a strange sensation. It's not a bad one. I would say it's a good one. And for now, I'm just gonna go to breakfast. I got a couple small chores to do, and that's about it for right now.
By the tail gunner. But again, the pilot is responsible. If the guns fail, he gets the blame. So he watches the tail gunner as the shutter-off feed mechanism is inspected. Now the other gunners only have to lock the latches. Elevation latch locked. Azimuth latch locked. The doors are shut and fastened, and the gunners can go to another turret. And there's still more work to be done. Each engine must be pulled through 15 blades, with only 2 men per blade. The engineer takes care of that. He sits at his position, making sure that all switches are off, while the 4 engines are pulled through. And now the co-pilot puts on his clothing and collects his equipment before joining the rest of the crew for inspection. Notice that the crew members wear fatigues while making their inspections and change into flight clothing only when they are ready to enter the plane. The examination of the exterior of the airplane is completed, so the crew can fall in for the check of their personal equipment. That's the last item of the before entering the airplane part of the procedure. And it's strictly the pilot's job. Your job. You are responsible for the men as well as the plane. If they fail, you're at fault. Each crew member must have his electrically heated flying clothing, parachute, oxygen mask, knife, a quart of water, and Mae West. Steel helmets and flak vests are already inside the ship at the positions. Apparently these men are completely equipped. But don't think they only have to climb into the ship and fly away. There's a lot yet to be done. Let's go along with the pilot again and see what he has to do to take a B-29 into the air. He climbs in through the hatch in the nose wheel well. That entrance is also used by the co-pilot.
Who cares?
Yeah.
4K is overrated.
Yeah.
What's your favorite?
Mapping?
What's your favorite camera, Bateman?
A working one?
50. Is it 30-50? Wait, is it a 20-70? Or 30-70? 35-70?
28-70.
28-70.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
You like that?
And that's usually the go-to I always
Yeah.
go for.
Okay.
You guys are like speaking a foreign language right now.
Oh. Do
You're
you know
gonna
what
have
a
to do
camera is?
unethical edits for the breakout I'm having around my face.
Your face is an unethical edit.
Air too. That was on Thursday.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping it's gonna be Monday, but everything moves a little slower here. So
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Don't you have to be there?
I texted
On
him today that
Monday?
I'll no, not Monday, but I told him that I'll leave no later than Thursday or Friday. So even
Okay.
if I don't get the answers, I have to leave because I'm only active duty until the 21st.
Okay.
Are you recording or?
Making highly professional content here. There's not a lot happening on Fort George G. Meade, Maryland today. So I was just standing around. Then my friend Kemp came by. And that was my kind of ex-girlfriend. I'm confused. Anyway, she seems to be friends with my friend now, which I'm mildly offended by.
To me, I'm still thinking it's like an optical place. And then I'm like, no, I'm. No, it's out.
Okay. So the Army's the only one that's like, but they're leaving, and that's, we have one leaving next week, and then the second.
Yes. For your mommy.
I don't think you can see me stop.
Without the backup of Caller.
That was exciting. So I went from a little cute Christmas market in a town to a rave to 5 Nights at Freddy's 2, which was, in my opinion, by the way, a horrible movie, to a jazz concert, In the meanwhile, I had to leave my motorcycle in DC because it wouldn't start after the rave in the middle of the night. It's just a mess. So I've been awake for really long, didn't get much sleep. Now I'm trying to drive back home from Baltimore and yeah, get some rest. Hey, it's, I think, midnight or something around midnight on Fort George C. Meade, Maryland. I couldn't really sleep, so I decided to go on a walk in this empty base. Nothing's really happening at this time. And I'm just sitting here because there's a light. So I'm somewhat visible on this camera. Yeah, it's been quite the week, month, maybe year even. A lot has happened since I made this decision to go to the US. I reflect on it all the time. Because of course a lot of my memories are from a different country, and all the things that I grew up with, that I learned. Obviously there were some influences from here, and some very early childhood things that are still etched into my head from here and from American culture. But the rest of it is things I picked up within the last, at this point, year and 4 months. It's not really a long time looking at a whole lifespan. It's not a long time. But things have definitely taken some turn, or evolved in the first place, because even though I wasn't very accomplished in a certain sense in Germany, going by common standards of society, something like, having a family, having kids, owning a house, have a stable job, stable income. I think those are being good at something. Those are standards that I always perceived, probably internationally, to be a common thing to expect. So I didn't have much of that. I never saved up a lot of money. I never got a degree. I never held a job for longer than a year, maybe 2. I broke up with all my partners. We never even tried having kids. And with no income, no job, no money, or it's not like I had no income, but that factored into that it would have been stupid to buy property. So even though I didn't make all that, I always felt like I had done everything that I wanted to do in Germany. And that I kind of, if it were a game, it felt like I had finished the main story and pretty much every side quest that I could find. Because I had reached my goals. I'm not sure if I talked about this before, but I definitely had goals. You know, growing up, leaving school, starting art school, and going forward from there. There were things that I wanted to do, which was to learn to draw very well. I wanted to learn to tattoo. I wanted to know if it's possible to make money with my art. I think I wanted to, in my relationships, I wanted to prove to myself that I could win a certain type of woman's heart. That's not really much of a goal that I'm proud of, because sadly it would always end in a breakup because there was no common future. So it was more about the moment and like physical closeness, emotional too, but it was less like on the spiritual side and less long term. And I think one thing was also to like fix my relationship with my parents. And those were things that I had reached. So I spent much of my time drawing, learning that, developing a style. I sold artwork. I sold tattoos. Making a living was never really a problem. And surviving isn't really a big problem in Germany anyway. Because the government will take care of you if you don't work. You feel like you're mentally ill. You can't provide for yourself. You will get a minimum of things from the government. Unemployment benefits. They pay for a small place to live in, plus some cash. So that was never really a challenge anymore. And I never felt like I would need materialistic things to be happy. So it was pretty much a new life coming here. And I'm really thankful for all the differences that it has, because there's things to learn, right? There's a horizon to expand. And I'm thankful for the difficulties, that not everything works on the first try, that I fight through things. And that I know how to come out on top. And I'm not afraid to fail. But I'm also patient. So the further I go along this journey, the more confident I become And it still continues. And right now, I've already also checked a lot of the necessity boxes. So I don't have to starve. I don't have to worry about where I'm going to sleep. I don't have to worry about my immediate future. I have friends. I have a pretty vast support network, considering the time that I've been here. And so that leaves room to explore some more spiritual things, like to leave my little comfort zone, my little shell, and explore. And right now a lot of it is like between people, between me and other people, and romantically. And especially since I met the person that I had been seeing for a bit of a longer time and recently broke up with. That was the first person in the US definitely to make me sort of stop and change my priorities, and who I liked to take up all my time. So I always felt like a day where I spent every second with her was a good day, right? And that's a rare feeling for me. But it didn't come without problems, right? We disagree on a lot of things, and right now I suppose we're talking, even though we're not together right now. But it's definitely throwing everything around. Everything's changing. I feel like I'm letting myself lose control, because I learned to trust the people around me more and more, and my support network, and that people will have my back. So I let my emotions take over, which I've learned to control, especially coming in here. Initially, it was a survival instinct, and a necessary survival instinct to control every single emotion, because if you can't, the military will definitely mess you up. They don't enjoy that. If you just let everything out. And as that happens, I do things such as, I've been losing a lot of sleep. I've been losing so much sleep just talking to this girl, like being on the phone, taking walks in the middle of the night like this, to be on the phone with her, or text her till 2 a.m. while my roommate sleeps, or me going to a rave last night, like, and sleeping 3 hours or 4 hours, and then go to see a movie, and it's just, I guess it's part of what it means to be alive. And I've been like this before, but it was always involving drinking or drugs, or friends that I no longer trust like that. Yeah. now it feels like it's sustainable in a way. Like I can always take a step back from it, and I do regularly. Most days I'll have like a moment where I take myself out of it and I reflect. But yeah, it's kind of like I'm learning what it means to be alive again, and to live, not just survive. I think I've always known, but if I learn one thing from my home, from my parents, and sometimes I feel like they're so surprised to see it in me, but it's exactly what they always wanted us to be, was discipline. Was, I don't want to do this, watch me do it anyway. Or like willpower and thinking different. Everybody's saying, no, you can't do this. Watch me, I'm gonna do it. And I can't count how many times they did it, because they are also considered strange in society in Germany, because they didn't stop caring about norms, but they just became more courageous. And that's something I've taken with me. And if the survival part, if it's not going well, if you're putting yourself in danger or at risk, or you need excessive help from others, then it's not right. Then you got to go back to that. You got some more work to do. And there's always work to be done. Some of it never stops, like laundry, cleaning, brushing your teeth, showering, taking out the trash, financial stuff. Some of it you'll never get away from. But it's the way things are. Yeah. I guess that's all I have to say for now. It's been long enough. But I've had a lot going on in my head. And sometimes I just need to dump it out like this. I like to write. I like to write it all down. But I also like this. And I hope I'm telling this story to somebody. Maybe it's just not infinitely accessible, but like an archived story somewhere on my hard drive or on YouTube, somewhere on the internet, of my story. But I do hope that I'm talking to someone right now. And I hope that somebody's learning or just listening from the things I say, from the things I show. I always try to, there's a message behind it. There's a message behind all the time lapses of me cleaning, or the same old shots from my motorcycle, or the little reflections that I do, or the questions that I ask other people. I feel like there's something to learn from every story. And that's what my videos are about. And of course for fun, and fooling around, and testing out what's possible, what I like. But that's it for now.